the come up. It's the come up. Hello, people of the world and the Come Up universe. It's me, Nick, and this is The Come Up. As you probably know already, I am currently in the midst of a move to Omaha, Nebraska, settling into my apartment, doing all those things. But I wanted to make sure that this episode still got out to you because this interview was awesome. And this will actually be my last episode before some events at the end of December that I'm currently cooking up for you, just so I can get acclimated to my job and all those things. But this episode is super exciting. I am talking to three of the co-hosts from Tameka Tiny Harris's The Mix, which is on Fox Soul, which is a new network with primarily black talent. And there are news shows, there are pop culture shows, there are hot topic shows, all led by black talent. So I am super excited to share with you this pre-recorded interview. This interview happened before the election. So this was before we had a new president-elect, and in the midst of the conversations of, this was actually right after the vice presidential debate. So it's a little dated in that sense, but the content is still great. These people are amazing, and I'm so honored that I got to speak to them. So sit back, relax, and enjoy my chat with some co-hosts from Tameka Tiny Harris's The Mix. Hey folks, welcome to The Come Up. I'm super excited that you're here. My next guests are a super exciting batch of people that are hosting a new talk show called The Mix. So here are a few of the cast members. We got Jazz Anderson.
Hey.
We've got Anton Peoples.
What's up, y'all?
And Jamie DeBose.
Hi.
Wow, you're here. You're famous. I'm so excited.
Oh,
So my first question, I'm a big talk show junkie. I've loved talk shows for a long time. This is kind of why I started this situation. Was this ever something that was on your radar? Were you like, at some point in my life, I'm going to be a talk show host?
I actually always wanted to do a talk show. Like I would always watch them as a kid. Like my mom is my best friend. I love my mom. Like we're really, really close. And she would always watch like The View, The Chad, The Chew, Wendy Williams, The Real. And I was like, it would be dope if they always had like a male and female perspective. That would be really cool. And so I would like practice at home. This is like embarrassing to say. I would practice at home to like, if I were actually on a talk show to like prepare myself for it. So, I guess like I put it out there and I manifested it.
Yeah.
So for me, no. Like I've always done, reality TV side of things. But, talk show that never really crossed my mind. But I'm really excited to be a part of The Mix because like Anton said, like Romeo said, it's like gumbo. And then as Anton said, it's like different genders, age groups, so I feel like that's why this show is really important. So I'm just excited to be a part of it.
Jazz, can we talk about this red hairs?
Listen, Jazz came in and she was like, today.
No.
She pulled up, she showed out.
No.
Like
my hairstylist, literally, he'll just be like, okay, this week we're doing red. Next week we're gonna do blonde. I'm like, okay, just put it on. I don't do color at all. So I was like,
I like it.
Yeah, it's growing on me. I like it. Thank you guys.
Of course. Jamie, what about you?
Okay, this might sound a little weird, so like just hear me out. But when I think of talk show, I think of older Caucasian women. And obviously I'm still young and not Caucasian. So I didn't think I'd fit into like the whole talk show realm. So I never really saw myself doing it. Did I always kind of wish I could do it? Yeah, but I would never say anything about that. Cause like you don't want to get your hopes up for it to be like crushed. So when I got this opportunity, I was ecstatic. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm still young and I can actually be my true self. I don't have to like change who I am for anyone to be on the show. And I was excited.
I love it. I love it. And you all kind of touched on this, but this show I think is so important right now because we're hearing from a lot of white women and white men and people that we just really don't need to be hearing from anymore. So just would you all mind expounding a little bit on like why is The Mix important for this specific moment?
I'll go. I think it's so important right now because we're in the middle of a race war. If it already hasn't started, and I think the change that we need is going to be from the younger generation. And, what better way to be able to hear their voice, hear our perspectives than to have a show like ours, The Mix, where it has a platform for young people to be able to speak on everything and anything that's happening to our generation. I think Obama said during the debate that the magic ingredient is the young people. And I really think that is true. We were the ones this summer who were on the front lines protesting after George Floyd was shown being killed. And we actually were the ones who not just talked about change, but demanded change and started to be the change that we wanted to see. And, I think that we have gone too long without having a platform for young people to talk about everything that's happening.
Yeah, I think Anton summed that up great. And just aside from the fact of our age group, I think as well, it's like we're African American, and our voices have been silenced or swept under the rug for quite some time now. So like Anton said, we're demanding that change. We are the voice. And right now we're at the focal point of everything. Like he said, we're going through a race war pretty much. So to be able to talk every Tuesday, all African-American panel, and you get our viewpoint and our perspective on things, that's really important right now.
Yeah, and I was watching an interview with Tiny, and she was saying how, a lot of times folks don't listen to young Black folks because of whatever the reason. I think we know why, racism. But, it's like they see you on your Twitter, they see you on your Instagram, and they make assumptions about your life based on that. So I think it's incredible to have this platform. And I love the show. Y'all are funny. The topics are hilarious.
Thank you.
So I'm curious, what has been, this year has been insane. There's been fires, there's been hurricanes, there have been murder hornets, the race war that we've talked about. What's been your favorite headline of or not favorite, but the craziest? What's the one that you were like, nah, I'm going back to bed?
I'm going to say when Kanye put out that he was going to run for president, I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with 20.
Have y'all seen his webpage for the presidency?
Yeah.
No.
I'm scared
no. Yeah.
Jazz and Jamie, you must go look at it. You have to go see it. I was on it for, it's one page long, but I was on it for like 30 minutes last night. Just like, is this for real?
Wow.
And he has a VP and everything. Like he's on ballots around the country.
Who's his vice
president? He is on the ballot.
Not everywhere. He wasn't in Illinois. Thank God. I was like, I'm not doing it.
Wait, you said he has a VP?
Yes. Kanye West is like really on some ballots. He's running, and his running mate is Michelle Tidball, who is a woman who was in his circle. Like his whole platform is that he wants to return America back to faith, because he thinks that if we go back to faith, that we will fix all the problems. And Michelle is on that, like, she a crazy white lady, so she on that bandwagon with him. It's wild.
Right. You know what I have to say? I have to let you know that I think Kanye, first of all, is a brilliant artist, like one of the most brilliant artists of our time that we will ever see. And I know what I will ever see in my lifetime. Like he's up there with Michael Jackson and Whitney to me. So, while at the same rate I don't want him to run for president, I still am in awe of the artist Kanye. And I love him, who he is and what he's, contributed musically, with his fashion line to our culture. But it's just a little scary to see that he's running for president, because it's taking away votes from Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people, young people especially, who are like, oh man, this is cool. I love Kanye. I love his sneakers. Let me just vote for Kanye. And they're not really thinking about, the horrible after effects it could have.
Yeah, that's real. And I know Jazz wants 4 more years of Trump. I saw that on the show the other day.
I never said that.
Guys.
That was so funny. Like the whole.
It was a question. Yeah, it was just a question because I feel like, oh man, did you see? See, we're probably gonna talk about this on the show tomorrow. But did you guys see Biden at town hall?
No. Oh wait, this week. Okay, I did see parts. Yes.
Please go watch it, please. Like it's just.
He's a little seasoned.
Yes, it's a bunch of rambling. I'm like, oh my gosh, Biden answered the question. Like, but no, I don't want Trump in any way. But then when I look at Biden, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm nervous. Yeah.
It's just the circle talk. It's all the circle talk. I just want
Yes,
someone to be
exactly.
honest and just tell me what's happening.
Exactly.
And you know that, and that point you were making is this. It was after the VP debate. You were talking about this, and the same thing with Kamala. Like, I love her. Like, I loved watching her be like, "I'm speaking." That was, but I need answers. Like, I need answers.
Exactly. Yeah.
I agree.
That's how I felt.
Well,
But my craziest, to answer your question, the craziest headline I saw was the anti-mask rallies. I thought that was just a mess, because this is when COVID first hit, and there were a bunch of people rallying without masks. We don't want to wear masks. Nothing's been proven about it. And I'm like, just wear, like, it's just so hard just to wear a mask.
Right.
Just to wear, even if you don't believe it. I just thought that was crazy that they were really rallying for that. No mask.
With whole weapons.
The haircut rally in Texas, where people were like, I want to get a haircut. You can't stop me from getting. Yes. Guys, that is your state. What are y'all doing?
Listen. I'm from LA. Don't do that.
Where are you right now? Are you in LA or are you in Houston?
No, I'm in Houston right now, but
there you
I
go.
can't speak for them.
Ooh.
No, I'm just kidding.
She said geography. This moment. Jamie, was that your craziest headline, or is there another?
Yes. You're worried about a haircut for what?
Well, and then you see the style, and you wasn't worried about my haircut. You just wanted.
Yeah, honestly.
You know, for me, it's the one that came a couple of weeks ago when the people that started the rallies in Michigan were going to kidnap the governor. Like, how y'all plotting whole kidnapping?
Bro, so I'm actually from Michigan, and that is crazy to me. And the fact that they're not calling those men terrorists, because that's
I was gonna say that.
They are definitely terrorists. It's also scary because I'm sure that's not the only situation that the FBI is watching right now in terms of white racist men trying to overtake a system or trying to kill or kidnap a politician. Like, this just shows us that there are so many more coming.
Right.
And I'm really fearful about what the future holds because, after Trump, he just unleashed all of the oppressed racists who were hiding in their homes, and now they have the ability to come out and speak freely and do whatever the fuck they want. Excuse me.
No, it's real. And I think that's the piece I keep trying to tell people is like, yes, vote, do the things, like fill those bubbles, but know that this fight we in a fight, like, and it's gonna be long, and those people do not go back home just because we voted someone out of office. So stay vigilant. So Fox Soul is an incredible new network making incredible shows like The Mix, and just amazing content. What are other types of content you want to see for Black folks coming from Fox Soul and BET and TV One? These networks, these spaces that we have. What other type of programs do you want to see?
Well, I think for me, being that I grew up in the reality TV world, how do I say this? I feel like there are a lot of networks that paint Black African Americans in a negative light because sadly, that's what our generation wants to see. I love Real Housewives. As much as they fight, throw drinks, I'm gonna tune in every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, sadly, we do like to watch that type of stuff. But I feel like now we have to change the narrative in a sense. Give us a bit of a mix as we have on The Mix. But just in general, we have to put more content out there that inspires African Americans, that uplifts us, that empowers us, because I feel like that can sometimes be missing. And then when we do go to speak out, people say, well, how can you speak out when y'all on reality TV fight? I see that so much. And it's like, yeah, we still have a voice though. You know what I'm saying? So we just have to change the narrative in a bit.
I agree with that. I would also add to that, what I would love to see more of are stories, written stories, about Black people in situations that we haven't seen before. Last night, I started watching Lovecraft Country. And
you started?
About that show. Is it
so I was in Atlanta in a hotel, and Lovecraft Country came on HBO, because a lot of hotels don't have HBO. So it had HBO. And I was like, should I start? Whatever. I started watching, and they were playing it the whole night because the season finale was last night. So I watched every episode, and when I tell you that show was so black and rich.
Wait, I'm sorry. You watched all of it last night?
I watched all of it last night.
That's not healthy. Are you okay?
Right? That show is it's heavy. It is heavy, but it was so worth it. And I felt so full afterwards. And it was so beautiful to see stories about Black people that you would I've never seen a Black sci-fi TV show like that, where like they show Black aliens. But it was also rich in Black culture and Black history too at the same time, of making it fun and innovative. So I would love to see more stories like that being told on networks like Fox Soul and BET and Centric and TV One. That would be beautiful. I think a lot of times the narrative is always the same. Like it's the same narrative with our shows and with our scripted programming. So that would be beautiful to see.
Sure.
I'd say I'd kind of want to see a show that acknowledges Black accomplishments, but not people you normally see in headlines. Like we always hear about, Kanye's Sunday service, which is great, or you hear about like Russell Westbrook tipping, $8,000 allegedly to the hotel people, but you never hear about the small entrepreneurs and what they're accomplishing. And I feel like, yes, it's inspiring to see these well-known Black people do these great things, but seeing people who are just like you in the same situation, I feel like kind of pushes people a little more. And it kind of makes you appreciate, they're not in the limelight, but they're still getting recognized for their accomplishments. And I think that's a show that I would definitely watch if they just acknowledge someone new like that every week.
Yeah. Well, you should watch The Come Up. That's my show. That's what I do every week.
Period. Here we are.
So I know you're doing the mix, which is super exciting, but are there any other personal thing cooking for you all? What's going on in your personal, artistic, or personal lives that you want to share?
You can go, Anton. Go ahead, Anton.
Well, I've been getting into the studio more often. I was in the studio almost every day when I was in Atlanta, working with some dope producers. So I'm working on like a little secret EP, but I guess it's not secret anymore.
That's an exclusive.
Exclusive, baby.
Yes, Come Up exclusive. We love it.
For sure. And I also am working on a scripted show with my sister. She's an actress. She graduated from Juilliard. And she is starring in a movie right now. Well, it's coming out. It's called True to the Game 2, I think it's coming out. But yeah, we're creating a show that's loosely based on our lives when I moved in with her when I was 16 in New York and while she was at Juilliard. So
nice.
Yep.
What about you, Jen?
As for me, I'm always working on the music. So I did kind of, when COVID first hit, I didn't do music that much because I really wasn't inspired. I wasn't doing my day-to-day things that I used as inspiration because it seemed like everything did just shut down. So now I'm kind of getting that inspiration back so I can give my supporters, an EP, LP, mixtape. I don't know yet, but I definitely want to release new content for them.
Yes. We want it. We need it.
I'm waiting on it, Jazz. So,
Hey.
As I always say, I'm in college, but I am starting a brand that I'm excited. I've never said this before, even they're surprised. I'm starting a makeup brand with one artist that I'm really excited about. And yeah, so that's the other project I'm working on.
Wow, so they're coming to steal your world. Just be ready. I love y'all theme song.
Thank you.
I love the all get a little bit in it, like Anton singing, then Romeo comes in, and then like Jazz. Like first, I mean, Jamie gets us set off.
Yeah.
And then Jazz is like, "Ain't down, bam, 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 bam." So like, it's good. I love it. Wow, I'm so grateful that y'all came and talked to me today. This is amazing. I love the show. I love what you're doing, and I'm just so happy that we're getting content. We're finding spaces for Black voices, for prominent Black voices, to have a platform, and that's just so exciting to me. So where can we watch the mix? Tell the people.
You can watch The Mix every Tuesday night live, 7 p.m. Pacific and 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Soul. You can download a Fox Soul app, or you can watch it on your smart TV with Tibby.
Hey, listen, thank you all, Jazz, Jamie, Anton. You were amazing. And yeah, back to you in the studio. Just wait, I got the studio.
Yes, and that's on period. Pull up, it's about to go up. Show love, we coming and you know us. It's a vibe and it's fresh on your mind. Breaking hot topics live. You know what we like, yeah. Get up, you don't wanna miss us. In the mix, it's official. It's official. Big facts, no cap. Where you at? Yeah. It's time to kick back. It's the mix.
Aren't they just amazing? I had such a good time talking to them, and I really hope that you check out The Mix. foxsoul.tv. Check out The Mix. Check out all the other shows on that network. It's really great, really awesome content that, you know, from voices that need to be heard right now. Some faces you know, some faces that you should know, and it's just great stuff. foxsoul.tv. Check it out right now. I want to send a shout out to my sponsors. Thank you so much for always being incredible and supporting me. It really means a lot. So, as I said, taking a little break after tonight. That was not the plan, but that is what is happening now. Hoping to come back with some cool content at the end of December for you, and then we're gonna do some little retooling. We're gonna see what happens, but the come up will stay. It just might look a little different. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for always loving me. I love you. And this is a goodbye from my little closet here in Chicago. So, until next time, folks, thank you so much.